After interviewing over 2,500 remote high-ticket sales reps, here are the top 3 things that you need to do if you want to ensure you get hired for any remote high-ticket sales role. Hey, what's going on, guys? Chad Aleo here, CEO and founder of High Ticket Sales Academy, also the author of the best-selling book, The Book on High Ticket Sales. And in this video, I want to teach you 3 things that every single person that is trying to get a job in remote high ticket sales, and really any sales job, needs to do if they actually want to increase their chances of landing a role and getting hired. Now, again, you guys heard me early on. I've told you this before. I've done over 2,500 interviews. Now, just so you guys know about me, I've been in sales for 15 years. I've interviewed people from insurance agents when I used to have an insurance company. I've interviewed people from the door-to-door days, okay? And I've interviewed thousands of people to get into remote high-ticket sales. And it's funny because there's so many commonalities between people that don't actually get hired. And a lot of people go to Reddit or they go to all these, forums, and they complain about why it's so hard to get a job. But I can probably bet that the people that are complaining are the people that aren't doing these 3 things. So if you do these 3 things when you show up and get an interview, I can promise you that you will most likely move on to interview number 2 to 3 to actually getting the job. The competition is not as difficult as we may believe. It's really just showing up differently. And so the first thing, number 1, is that if you want to get hired, let's say you get an initial interview, or you even don't have an initial interview, you just have to send in a 60-second video, okay, to explain why you're a good fit. The number 1 thing that gets people in the door for an interview is they are enthusiastic about what they're doing, okay? Low energy does not get you hired for a sales job. Let me say that one more time. Low energy does not get you hired for a sales job. Too many people don't understand that sales is a transfer of emotion, okay? If you can't get excited and show that you're enthusiastic in just an interview, why the heck would I think, as someone that's hiring you or potentially hiring you, think you're going to be able to do that on the job? And so if you sound like you're laying on a couch, frankly, you're probably not going to get hired, okay? And so you need to bring, the energy, be enthusiastic. It doesn't mean you're an excited, happy idiot. It just means that you come with a positive energy and you're just happy to be where you are, and you want to show, that you are a good candidate, right? If you're really struggling with well, Chad, I don't know how to be enthusiastic. How do I show it? Well, a lot of people watching this, I'm sure you've dated someone at some point in your life, and maybe even met the person you're dating's parents, okay? And if you really like the person you're dating, you really want to make sure that their parents like you, so you show up as your best self. It's the same thing in an interview. So make sure that you're enthusiastic, okay? It amazes me, again, how many people just show up, and again, they're just low, they're boring, and they're just not fun to talk to, okay? And those are sometimes the easiest interviews to end quickly and, pat people on their back and send them on their merry way, okay? But number 2, all right, if you really, really want to, move swiftly through an interview process, you gotta be prepared. Okay, prepared does not mean showing up on time, even though it's part of it, okay? And by the way, if you show up on time, you're late. You should always be, at an interview 5 minutes before the actual person gets there so that you can beat them to the Zoom room, to the meeting room, whatever. You don't want them ever to have to wait on you, not even 30 seconds, not even a minute. You want them to walk out there and say, wow, they're already here. That shows that they know how to value their time. That shows that they are someone that is interested and eager to really chat with me. And they're going to be more excited naturally to chat with you, okay? But that's not only the thing about being prepared. The best candidates that I've interviewed, okay, they appear to know more about my business than I feel like I actually know about. They've done all the research. They've gone to the website. They've looked at who our competitors are. And the crazy part is that they go through and they really understand what they're going to be selling. They really entrench themselves in the culture. They go to all of our social media channels and they just learn and they soak up as much as they can so they can show up to that interview and speak confidently about what they're going to be doing. And most importantly, see how they can see themselves fitting into that role. And so if you're someone that's just flying by the seat of your pants, you don't know anything about the company that you're looking to interview with, well, at the end of the day, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because when they say, well, what do you know about us? You say, well, that you guys sell stuff in the e-learning space. That doesn't look good, and most likely that's an X on it's a red flag. I'm putting X on your notes. 2 more of those, and I'm not moving you on, okay? And so again, know more as much as you can about that company, all right? You'd be silly not to, all right? And then the final piece, number 3, is you need to show that you are someone that is motivated, okay? Sales is such a lucrative career. You can make so much money in sales. And really, as you guys already know, the best industry to sell in is remote high-ticket sales, because you can get paid in a short period of time. You sell really expensive stuff from anywhere. But my point is that you got to be motivated, because in sales, people don't realize this. Yes, there's, the ability to make money, but there's also a lot of rejection. The reason salespeople get paid so much money is because they, maybe they closed only 3 out of every 10 people that they talk to. That means 7 people tell them no before 3 more tell them yes. Or, if you're not good at sales in the beginning, maybe it's 1 out of every 10 because you're trying to get your skill set up. And when you feel like you're losing more than you're winning on a scoreboard, it starts to mess with your head a little bit. Okay. You start to question, yourself, all the things of, am I capable? Can I really do this? And so you really need to show up saying, hey, I'm motivated. I'm someone that's, watches self-help improvement videos. I'm someone that listens to motivation. I read books, right? Consistently to keep my mind sharp. I work out in the morning. I do all the things to prepare myself before I go into a day to make sure that I'm ready to go. And letting that person see that you are someone that's coachable, that you're willing to go above and beyond, that if you were to start a brand new role, like, you're going to do everything you can outside of working hours to memorize any scripts they're giving you, to understand any products that you'd be selling. Again, motivation is key, because no matter where you work, your sales manager, sales coach, whatever you want to call them, they can only take you so far. At the end of the day, you are the person selling, and you are the person closing the deals. And so we need to know when we're hiring you that, hey, if I'm not around, are you going to be someone that's going to put in the work and show up even when no one's looking over your shoulder? Because again, it's a remote job, right? We got to trust you, right? At the end of the day, okay? And in this industry of remote high-ticket sales, not many people know this, but business owners are spending upwards of $30,000 to $40,000 to get leads to show up on your calendar. That's why they're inbound. That's why they're warm. And if you don't show up for those calls, we're literally burning money. So it's important to show those 3 things. Okay. Number 1, okay, make sure you guys take some notes on this stuff. You got to have enthusiasm. You got to show the energy. Okay. We got to feel that sales energy that you got. Number 2 is you really got to be prepared. Okay. We talked about this a little bit, on time, knowing about the company. And then the final thing that's going to make all the difference is showing that you're motivated, showing you're someone that we can trust when no one's looking. Okay. And so those are the 3 things that separate people. These are the people that have always moved on in interviews that I've done, and most likely have had the best chance to get hired. So I hope this helped, and I hope you go and really crush that next interview, and like and subscribe and follow High Ticket Sales Academy if you want to get into this industry. Okay. And most importantly, land a great role. We're going to be teaching videos every single week. I'll see you soon.